So I like to say Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shah, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. And salutations to you brothers out there that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. So starting back at the book of Obadiah, from where we left off, Obadiah 1 and 6, it says, how are the things of Esau searched out, which we got in Jeremiah 49, right? It says, how are his hidden things sought up through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Shemel Shah. The scriptures tell you in the book of Luke, I want to say that's Luke, the 7th chapter, I think. It says, what that which is in the dark shall come to light. So it says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? And also, the Lord, the Most High, put the spirit on whistleblowers. People that work within Esau's, organization. They come out and they, spread information around of what these devils be doing behind the curtains. It says, Obadiah 1 and 7, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, right? Esau, having trade deals and contracts with all these nations have now gotten to the point where, contracts are being broken. Relationships between the U.S. and these other nations is being split apart. You got NATO, North Korea, Russia are all preparing for World War III. So it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise man out of Edom? I remember what the brother Karatazar said. He said, during the C-19, that they was just at one point just throwing numbers up there, just randomly throwing numbers. So the wisdom of these devils is fading, man. They don't have that wisdom. And really, man, the way they get orders is that they pray. They pray to the true power to direct their way. But guess what? That's being taken from them, man. So it says, so again, shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise man out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? It says, and thy mighty man, O Timon, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. See, and that's a prophecy, man. Because what's going to happen to these devils is that they're going to go into slavery. And after a certain period of time, I believe 1,000 years, they're going to all be burnt off the face of the earth. So you ain't going to never see a pale-skinned devil in your life when the kingdom come. Because they're going to go into slavery and that's it. You're going to be burnt off the face of the earth. We're going to pile you all up. Like in that movie, I think it was 28 Weeks Later, when they was on a train, and as the train was passing by, they had a pile of bodies up, and they was just burning all the pile of bodies. That's gonna be Esau, man. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, you all gonna be gathered up. You're gonna be tossed in a pile and burnt, man. Simple as that. Your pale skin gonna be wiped off the face of the earth. So Obadiah 1 and 10, for thy violence against thy brother, because again, going into Psalm 73, he's a violent man, right? It says, for thy violence against thy brother, Jacob Salakia. Jacob's shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And that day, and the day that thou stoodest on the other side, and the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was at one of them. Why? Because when Babylon was sieging Israel, it was Edom who said, raise it to the foundations of the earth. So they was rooting for Babylon to take Israel, right? So that's why it says, and that day that thou stoodest on the other side, and the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. So, verse 12, but thou shouldst not have looked on the day of thy brother, and the day that he became a stranger. So check that out. The scripture even calls Jacob a stranger, right? Neither shouldst thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah and the day of their destruction. Neither shouldst thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldst not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldst not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldst thou have stood, and these devils said that that the Lord is with them, right? I think that's in Psalms 20, but I could be wrong. Neither shouldst thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldst thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. So, that's a prophecy, man. For what you have done unto the Lord's chosen people, his true people, the Lord's going to have vengeance upon your wicked deeds, man. Like the scripture says, for the day of Yahweh is near upon the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Right? So, Obadiah 1:16, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Hey, the scriptures talk about those curses, right? And the curses in Deuteronomy 30:7 that's put on the Lord's people, it shall go up unto you. The scripture says that you shall drink the dregs of the cup, right? For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion, which is the Lord's people, shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Right? So all that gold y'all got in the boat, all that silver y'all got hidden, all those precious stones and everything that you devils have taken from us, is going to be our possession. And guess what? You're going to be a possession right along with them stones. But the stones are going to be treated better than you. Right? So it says, verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh hath spoken it. So Esau going to get wiped off the face of the earth after captivity. So let me grab this real quick, and then we'll end it from there. This is Ezekiel 35:5. I start at the top. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir. Guess who dwells in Mount Seir? Esau, Edom. What will be considered Mount Seir today? America. And prophesied against it, right? Jeremiah 28:8. And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. And I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, and the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Saith, thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So I'm going to go ahead and end it from there and say Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shah, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash, the ones, the apostles and elders of GMS, and salutations to you brothers out there that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. I would like to say Shalom.